isn't it? Like 7 o'clock. That's a trooper there for you. I think we got it recording, and then we're gonna just minimize this for a second. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our MoxiWorks Hours Essentials. And this session is our first one on MoxiEngage, and it's entitled 5 Ways to Maximize MoxiEngage. This is our team. My name is Alex Castro. I'm joined here by a number of our engagement team partners. We have Angie Myers, we have Brett Carthorpe, we have Amy Sherrill, maybe Debbie's on the line as well. All of us are going to be able to answer your questions that you may have via the chat. So if you have any questions throughout this session, please feel free to put that in chat, and remember to direct it to everyone so that everybody can see your question, and both everybody can see the response as well. I'll be your host, and we're going to cover a lot of information. So hopefully everybody is ready, maybe to take some notes, but this session is being recorded. So anybody who registers for this session, and you guys by being here are called Zoom participants, you'll get a recording along with any of the resource material that we referenced throughout the session. All right, so, and we know that all of you are busy, so sometimes that recording session is a little bit more easy on your schedule. Just a quick recap of what MoxiWorks hours are. This is our quick FAQs. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but the content is directed to all agents, okay? But also recommended for the leadership team, the managers, broker owners, admin, coaches, marketing personnel, basically everybody, recruiters, to also attend, because you never know that one golden nugget that is going to help recruit that agent to be a new agent at your office, or also to help retain those agents at your office as well. What are MoxiWorks hours, right? These are micro learning sessions, right, to help develop your MoxiWorks skills, okay, and learn the how-tos of all the different product functions, all the different product components. You know that this is a beast of a product, lots to learn, okay? And of course, to answer your questions. As I mentioned earlier, you can put your questions in chat, and also you can choose to unmute yourself towards the latter part of the session. We're going to reserve the final 10 minutes or so to answer questions live. And I know some of you enjoy that part of it, where you're able to, if something comes up, that you're able to ask your questions live. And that's why we have all these subject matter experts available on this call, so that you can get quickly a response to your question. What this session is not, right? It's not designed to be a technical support type session, right? We advise you, if you do have an issue, a problem, please follow the established support protocols that your product champion, and hopefully you know who your product champion is at your particular office, so that you can get the fastest resolution possible. But if you don't know who the product champion is at your office, number one, you want to ask, and number two, go to support.moxiworks.com. That's where you submit a ticket. The more information you give us in terms of a screenshot, in terms of exactly what the problem is, and also you can report, like, you don't know how to do something quite correctly, or a feature that you would like to have, all those things, support.moxiworks.com, submit a ticket. These are provided you through Zoom registration, and then hopefully we're going to have future sessions titled in your registration. I think we only have the next couple months maybe on that Zoom registration, where you could register for multiple sessions all at once. When is this session held? Twice a month, every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, every other Thursday, excuse me. So in another 2 weeks, another MoxiWorks hours session. Why do we have these, right? The big why: to maximize your knowledge of the features and benefits of the entire suite of the MoxiWorks platform, so that you can become more efficient, right? Save time, and also to help achieve your goals, your productivity goals, your production goals. How is this going to be done? Slides and live demo. That's basically what we are going to cover here. Here's our agenda today, pretty simple and easy. MoxiWorks hours FAQs, which I just went over, right? Slides and demo. I just talked about that. I'm going to reiterate and just kind of summarize for those newbies. Support, how best to get support and resolution to any issues that you may come across. A quick survey that hopefully, Angie, you can kind of queue up there, because we want to get your feedback to make these MoxiWorks hours as beneficial as possible. And then, of course, Q&A. So 5 steps to maximizing MoxiEngage. First, here are the getting started steps. And this is going to be a lot of information. Keep in mind that some, like this first topic, we can have a MoxiWorks hours on it specifically, okay? Importing your people. That is a topic in itself for one MoxiWorks hours, but we're going to cover a ton more than that, okay? Because we don't know what level of experience all of our participants are in this call. So one good thing is that you're going to have the recording to refer back to. And then also you're able to go to your brand portals to get additional information, okay? So getting started. This is what we're going to cover today. Importing your people. We're going to talk about setting your GCI goal, organizing your people and setting up those campaigns, and then moving your people through the sales flow. This is a lot. And I'm not sure if we're actually going to be able to cover everything, but it depends, right, on how everything goes. And also on my internet connection, it was kind of flaky right before I got on this call, but hopefully it all is going to work out where we're going to be able to cover everything. If not, we're going to reserve it for a future MoxiWorks hour. All right, so here we go. All right, importing your people. This is our first of the 5 steps to maximizing your MoxiWorks Engage. Okay, here are the 5 options to get people into your system. It's a lot, it's daunting, okay? But we're gonna kind of explain each one of these. Maybe some of you already finished this part, but I wanna make sure everybody understands it, okay? Email sync, automated data migration tool for those of you who are on Zap previously, or InTouch, Market Leader, Business Builder. And then we have a manual data migration, import using the CSV file or the comma separated value, okay? Using Outlook template and using a Google template. And then, of course, the enter one contact at a time. Okay, this is just one of the things that we're covering today, and you can see there's a lot already in just this particular piece. So I'm just going to take a few slides, and then I will also go into demo mode, okay, live mode. So here we go. Email sync, okay, just so everybody understands, right? To access MoxiEngage, you must first synchronize the tool to your contacts and your calendar through an email account, okay? Some of you in the first phase of early access, you access Moxie Present, Moxie Impress. Those you didn't really need to synchronize to your Google email or to your Microsoft Outlook 365. But with MoxiEngage, so that you all understand, you can see here, Google Workspace or the free Gmail, Google Workspace, which is your company provided probably. With those, you can synchronize your contacts to MoxiEngage. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you have questions, feel free to put that into chat. And Brett, feel free to chime in on anything that you may think needs to be to provide more clarity, if you will. And just keep in mind, right, some of you may not even know this, but the GoDaddy email accounts are not supported yet at this time, okay? So here's just kind of a couple things. Automated data migration tool, that's number 1, right? So if you're previously on Zap, Market Leader, Business Builder, InTouch, you had the opportunity to migrate your CRM data directly into MoxiEngage automatically, okay? Keep in mind that you are in ZAP, there are certain fields that are migrated over, okay? So just kind of wanting to specify here. Sometimes you can choose whether you want to go through this automated data migration tool or not. Your choice. And I'm going to outline all the choices for you, okay? But this is key because it's all automated. The success that we've had on our early access agents have been like 99% plus in terms of the success rate, in terms of the accuracy and stuff like that. So highly successful. So those of you who have done that, and I don't know if some of you may want to chime in, if how that worked out for you, okay? So this is the automated data migration tool. The manual data migration tool. Your choice as well, right? Note that this only includes core profile data, will not include any activity history. So that is for ZAP. So there's a difference. Automated data migration tool, if you do it through the automated method, then there's more data that's going to be transferred, okay? If you choose to use the manual data migration tool in ZAP, you're going to use this ZAP to MoxiEngage manual contact import template to put your information in a certain format so that MoxiWorks, MoxiEngage specifically, can import that data directly into it. Questions? Put that in chat. Does that make sense? I'm going to repeat it. So if you do the manual method, this is only a manual method. If you're doing the automated data migration tool that was supplied by the company, you don't have to do this part. But if you choose to do the manual method, there's a template that is available through support.moxieworks.com, and you can find it there, and it should be, I think it's there, where you can just follow the template and put your data in the specific column so that it can be imported without issue. Okay, next way of importing your people, bulk import using the CSV file. 2 different flavors. Using Outlook template, using Google template, right? Depends on which email platform that you're using. So keep in mind, this form is found on the support.moxieworks.com. It's the Outlook import template. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't like, where do I find this? Go to support.moxieworks.com and just type that in. I have it circled, Outlook import template. And here you can see, right? Title, first name, middle name, last name. And I have this row number 3. I have it numbered so that you can see 92 fields that you can use and populate that goes into your MoxiEngage. 92 separate columns or 92 separate pieces of data elements of your one contact. Does that make sense? So I circled it 92 just so to give you reference that there's a lot of information. Keep in mind that this, the reason why I'm spending time on this, is that the data that you're putting into MoxiEngage, that time and investment of your time to make sure it's as complete as possible should be able to pay bigger dividends later in the future. Does that make sense? Right? So we've had stories where a number of our agents spent like a whole week or hired an assistant to help them compile their import file so that when it goes into their CRM, it's as complete as possible. They have everybody's email addresses. They have everybody's phone numbers, physical mailing address. If you have Google, there's a separate template. 63 different pieces of data. Does that make sense? So if you use Gmail, or workspace, Google Workspace for your company provided email. 63 such columns of data that you can populate in that spreadsheet prior to going into MoxiEngage. Why do we want to do this in the first place? Because in a spreadsheet format, you can delete the duplicates. You can fill in the missing columns or rows of data. Does that make sense? Hopefully you all are understanding where I'm getting that. Again, this Google Mail template can be found where? On the Success Portal, support.moxieworks.com. Here's what it looks like when you're done with the import, right? So here we created a new group, imported on this date, right? 65 new contacts from my CSV file into Engage. So this is what it would look like after you imported the end result. This is what it looks like in your Gmail account. You see your contacts? I think everybody who uses Gmail, this looks familiar, right? But look at this in red, imported on. These are new groups that have been created, imported on, a marketing group. Okay, so those are new groups that have been created on this import via MoxiEngage. Hopefully everybody's getting that, yeah? And of course, enter one contact at a time. All you have to do is go to people and add your people, okay? So here, I can go into, I'll go into real life demo mode. So here's people, but then you can add people, and then here's that input screen. So I'm gonna pop out of this and then go to a new share. And let's go here. So does everybody see my screen? Angie, can you see my MoxiWorks screen?
I can.
Very good. So all you have to do is go to the people. This is our demo account, people, and then select add people. And then here's that input screen. Some of you may wish to use this as your data input screen at an open house, right? To have this available on your tablet, on your laptop, sitting on the counter. And as they type, as they come through your open house, they're typing in their information, as opposed to that yellow pad piece of paper, right? That intake form or that guest registry form. Okay. Any questions on that? So again, you go to Engage. And here I'm in manager mode, but I'm going to go into, here's my internet. We'll get back to that. Oh, yeah. Okay. So manager mode, agent mode, people, and then add people. Any questions on that? Please put in chat. Okay. So here's our next topic, right? Setting your GCI goal. Gross commission income. Okay. So setting a goal drives your performance. This is key, right? Without your goals, and having MoxiEngage help you achieve those goals, I think you're kind of driving without your headlights on, so to speak, yes? So let MoxiEngage help you take the daily steps needed to make you reach your goal. So what does that look like? So here, I'm gonna show you right here in 2020, oops, sorry about that. Here in 2020, you could see this red circle with nothing in it. That was a year when this person didn't put a GCI goal. So what does it look like in real life demo mode? I'm going to go to my demo. Actually, maybe you guys didn't even see that slide, did you? Goals.
We just see your screen.
Okay, so you can
now
see,
we see your
now.
GCI goal now.
Okay, so here I selected goals. And then I go to the gear icon over on the far right. Hopefully everybody can see my beaconing cursor. And then I go to GCI goal. Does everybody see that? Click. So you can change this. And you can see here on 2020, I had no goal. 2021, there was my goal, and you can adjust this at any time. Any questions on that? I think it's key, right? And here is also the key. You're the agent, you put in your goal. Your broker owner manager has their manager function where they could see who did not enter a goal. Does that make sense? They could also see who is on track on their goal, who's exceeding their goal, who is behind on their goal. Not to kind of make you feel uncomfortable or fearful of, that your manager is watching you, but I think everybody here on this call, they want to achieve their goals, and if they need help, they can get help from their broker owner, manager, or coach, because they can see where you're at in relation to your goal. Questions on that? That's huge. I think this is just a simple yet a powerful tool that's built into MoxiEngage, that it will help you achieve that goal, right? It'll tell you where you are with respect to that goal. And then here's another thing, right? You can get a tour of what this goal screen looks like. Okay, so you can get tour right here, right? I hit the gear icon again. Now, keep in mind, if I hit people here, and then I go to the gear icon, sometimes if you hit people from the start, you're not going to see that GCI goal, right? Like right here, okay? So you can see like, oh, where's that GCI goal that Alex was talking about? Does that make sense? So keep in mind that when you, based on what you select over here on the left-hand side, like if I hit goals, now if I hit the gear icon, oh, there's now the GCI goal. So some of you may not know that happens, but now I can go GCI goal. But what I wanted to show you is the tour, right? Click on tour, and it gives you kind of a quick tool tip, so to speak, as to what you're looking at. Okay, so I don't want to go through this all, right? What you can see, okay, I understand. It'll tell you like all the different pieces, close transaction, okay, I understand. So you can kind of go through this on your own, okay, I understand, which is very, very cool. So it explains it right there, what you're looking at. Any questions on the GCI goal? Feel free to put that in chat. Okay, so now I'm going to go to new share and go back to my screen. This is what I forgot to do last time. So hopefully everybody can see my slides. Yes? Angie, can you confirm that you can see my slides? Organize your
Yes,
people?
we can.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I just want to make sure because I'm switching
Yes.
between two different platforms, PowerPoint and then the live demo. Okay, so that third out of the 5 ways to maximize your MoxiEngage is organizing your people. Okay, so when you first add people or a person into Engage, they're going to be labeled as uncategorized. What's cool is that MoxiEngage, you're able to use their categorize wizard to organize your people into a client or non-client. Okay, if you select client, you can say, okay, they're a client. I want to put them on a marketing plan. I want to make them a seller prospect. I want to make them a buyer prospect. Or you can select non-client. Oh, they're just a personal contact, right? I have them in my Outlook, or I have them in my my Gmail contacts, and I don't want to put them into my MoxiEngage or collaborator. Okay, so I'm just going to show you in slide form, and then we'll go into live demo. So here, when you add a new person, as I said a minute ago, are they a client or non-client? Because they're going to be uncategorized when you first add them, yes? So you pick client, non-client. These are 2 people that were just added, for example. Client, non-client, you just click on one of these buttons. Client, non-client. Okay, so then what happens? If you select client, as on the left half of the screen, then you could select marketing plan, make seller prospect, or make a buyer prospect. If you select non-client, this is where you select personal, collaborator, remove from engage. Note, remove from engage does not remove that contact from your Gmail contacts, for example. They will be, I guess, earmarked that you don't want them as part of MoxiEngage. Does that make sense? You're not deleting that contact from your Google contacts. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go back to the live demo. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. I'm back to the MoxiEngage.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I'm going to go to people, my people. Okay. Oh my goodness, let's see, let's try this again. Let's try. Sorry about that, folks. There's something's weird about my internet today. Okay, so engage.
Let me know if you need me to take over driving.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, hopefully this is going to work. I'm going to go to manager, agent mode. So some of you are managers on this call. You can go agent mode, manager mode. I'm in agent mode. I'm going to go to people, my people. Okay, very good. All right. So we added new people into our MoxiEngage, right? We synchronize our contacts. We imported, we bulk, right? All those 5 different ways of getting people into our MoxiEngage people database. Over here, you can see the categorize wizard over on the right. You can see my beaconing cursor. I'm going to hit categorize wizard. And then it should take me to that screen that I just showed you. Oh, Susan Smith, is she a client or non-client? Okay, so based on what you select, she's a client. Do I want to put her on a marketing plan or create a marketing plan, make her a seller prospect or a buyer prospect? Well, maybe let's see what the non-client options are. Personal contact, collaborator, remove from engage, which means, again, not removing my contact off my iPhone or my Android, but just removing her from MoxiEngage. Okay, so from here, we can make her a client and we can make her a seller prospect. Click. So that's categorizing your contacts. Any questions on that? Pretty simple. Maybe we should turn to the chat. Angie, is there anything that we can address at this time? Any theme or popular consistent question that people may have at this time? I just want to make sure that we give, we don't go too far.
It appears as though most of the questions in chat have been answered in chat. If there's an outstanding question, if somebody wants to shout it out real quick. It looks like most of them have been answered.
Very good. Excellent. All right. So what we did again, when you just want to reiterate, right? Because at least for me, if I hear it a couple of times, it sinks in a little bit better, right? So if I go to people, my people, new people that are recently added via those 5 different ways that we added new people, we can categorize them because MoxiEngage, the default is to uncategorize these people. So now we use categorize wizard. And if I do that again, it shouldn't find anybody, I don't think. It should say that I'm all done. See how fast this works today. Okay, yeah, I don't think it found anybody. Okay, any questions on that? I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm sorry, I have a question. This is
Yeah.
Maya.
Hi, Maya.
So if we have a past clients and we group them into a past client group, they will not be categorized as seller or buyer because At this point, they are not, but they will be uncategorized, but still in a group. Will that,
Correct.
can we direct the campaign for them, or how, what will be the, like, downfall not having somebody categorized?
Yeah. So to your question, you can still send contacts campaigns based on what group they're in. Basically the tasks will be the tasks will be in the marketing tasks, and other tasks are kind of customized based on if it's past seller, past buyer, whatever it may be. So there's a little bit of functionality there that you would miss out on, but best practices is to go ahead and categorize everybody. But if you just have people in groups, that certainly works in terms of being able to sign up people for campaigns, et cetera. So
Okay,
Yeah.
so the seller and the buyer assigned special like campaigns to push them to a transaction.
correct. Yeah.
In the group, somebody past client will not be falling under that category. Thank you. That answers.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that, Maya. We're going to talk about creating custom groups
Okay,
so that people, because agents like to group different ways, more broad than others. Okay, but here, this is in reference to that, right? Perfect segue to set your campaigns. Okay, so now there's different ways that we can set different campaigns for your people, right? Email blasts. These are single emails that can be sent to contacts you choose through MoxiEngage. Neighborhood news, which is a huge, huge feature in MoxiEngage. If agents aren't using this, I think you're missing a big value proposition, because this particular feature, neighborhood news, just by itself, automatically on a monthly basis keeps you, your brand, top of mind with the people that you have subscribing to neighborhood news. Okay, and then within neighborhood news, it's quite awesome in terms of its functionality, right? It's a monthly digest of activity within their area, right? The trends, newly listed real estate activity within that zip code that that person subscribed to. Yes, you can create a sign up link, a sign up widget. So what does this mean? That each and every one of your, let's say, Moxie websites, which is another topic, of course, altogether, you can create a neighborhood news widget that has, okay, what's the client's first name, last name, email address, and zip code that they want neighborhood news on. Amazing tool. That's as difficult as it gets. Okay, but let me go through this. Okay, so here, this is the sign up link. So this link that I'm going to show you where to get it in a second is that when you send somebody this link, it will prompt them for first name, last name, email address, zip code. That's it. So when they see, you're right, when they click on this link that you can have anywhere, right? Anywhere you can, some of our affiliates and agents have created a bit.ly so that the link is not so long, so to speak, and maybe unuser friendly, so that you can create a bit.ly link instead, right? Something that's a lot shorter that they can also get to this point. Okay, then of course, for those techies on the call, right? A neighborhood news sign up widget, right? So all you have to do, I don't mean to scare anybody, but copy the embed code into your website, and it's an embedded objects, right? That neighborhood news pops right up on that website. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you those, and we'll get into a couple other things. So I'm going to go back to my MoxiEngage. So hopefully everybody sees my browser now. My people. Let's try this here. Okay, so I go to my gear icon, engage settings. I'm scrolling down. Does everybody see neighborhood news over on the far left-hand side on the bottom? I click on neighborhood news. Click. Okay. Keep your contacts connected with neighborhood news, a monthly digest of activity within their area, right? That zip code. You can edit that message to how you like to speak. Here's a nice default message. Some of you may want to embellish this a little bit, make it more in your voice, things like that, more of your personality to shine through. Does that make sense? All you have to do is hit the edit button. Okay. I'm scrolling down. Sign up link. What is this? Create a custom link so users can sign up for neighborhood news from your website, a presentation, an email, anywhere else you can dream of. I could put it in, like, let's say my email signature, for example, on any Gmail or Outlook email that I send out. That's an idea, right? So I can create this link, click. And you see this is kind of long, as I mentioned to you. You can create a bit.ly, which makes it a little shorter and more user-friendly, right? Copy. I'm clicking that copy button. And I'm just going to open up a browser, click, and then I'm just going to go Control Paste and hit enter of that same link that's in my clipboard now. And then there it is. First name, last name, email address, zip code is all what they're asking for. So some people are using this link or this neighborhood news intake form for a quick, get that person into my MoxiEngage account so that I can start drip marketing on that person. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? Huge, huge. I cannot emphasize how powerful this is. I don't know, Brett, do you have any like stats or any type of stories on this particular feature? Because I just want to emphasize the value of just this piece.
On neighborhood news, and I think it was an older study that basically when we looked at the average company that came on to MoxiEngage, and when they looked at the agents who at least took the step of uploading their contacts and adding people to neighborhood news, they saw at least 1 to 2 transactions boost just through those steps. So I mean, we haven't really studied it beyond that, but in my opinion, it's the easiest way to use it because you can literally have it on your website. You can create a link at any time, which is right what you're showing, which you can use on, social media posts or your email signature, whatever it may be. And then also, and I just answered this question for Joe, that neighborhood news sign up widget, what that does is it generates an embed code. So if you're using a website that allows you to populate part of the design by having something embedded, you can use that, or else you can actually use that embed code to create a page within Moxie Present. So if you're sending perhaps a buyer tour, you want to add the neighborhood news sign up widget. And that way, if they're not already part of that, they're ready to go. Or I've seen some agents who before an open house will create just a quick little neighborhood spotlight, presentation for buyers that say, hey, if you want some more information about the neighborhood, give me your cell phone number. I'll text you this link to a presentation. And then within that presentation, they have the widget in there. So it works as kind of a landing page as well. So I've seen it used a lot of different ways to generate getting people into your MoxiEngage.
Yeah, excellent comment there, Brett, where agents are utilizing this as a landing page, right? Utilizing this to capture information, right? To capture lead information. And when Brett is talking about that widget, neighborhood news sign up widget, right? Where add this widget to any site to allow visitors to subscribe and receive neighborhood news, all while capturing and creating new lead contact in MoxiEngage. So some of you whose goal is to, add X number of people in your CRM, in your database, or hand out X number of business cards. I'm not sure if people do that anymore, right? X number per day. guess what? This is kind of like the same thing, right? Add people through my sign up widget of neighborhood news, and here, generate widget. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Click. And not to scare anybody, but here is that kind of, I'm not sure, this is HTML code, right, Brett? Where you can copy this and paste perhaps in that Moxie Present source button or on your Moxie website page, or virtually any page that it will create that input screen of the first name, last name, email address, and zip code. Okay, so here at the bottom, it says copy the provided embed code into your website as an embedded object, right? All you have to do is hit the copy button. That's it. You don't really have to understand what all this is. It's JavaScript and HTML programming, which I have zero knowledge of. Visitors fill out their information on Neighborhood News sign up widget and receive the first edition of Neighborhood News, right? Visitor is created as a contact within MoxiEngage, or if they already exist, have the Neighborhood News subscription added to their profile. How cool is that? And then from then on out, after they enter that in, guess what? Monthly, like clockwork, your information is sent to them, right? Your branded information with that Neighborhood News update, with charts and graphs and pictures and listings and things like that. Questions on that? I think it's a no-brainer. I think if you're just using this part, it should be a great way to stay top of mind with your sphere of influence, right? To keep people updated, that right, provide that technology edge that a lot of you will have by just giving this particular functionality to your sphere of influence. Another subscription that you can also incorporate, listing announcements. Okay, so here you can change when you just list or just sold something, these messages can automatically go out to whoever you have subscribing to this. Does that make sense? So just listed, right? So here's a message, right? I have a new listing. You may want to be a little bit more creative than that, and I'm not sure, some of your brands may have different campaigns or different verbiage that they have allowed you guys to use, but nevertheless, you can create your own, right? So just listed, just sold, right? Just sold the seller, just sold as the buying agent. Questions on that? You can just edit that and then modify the text accordingly. Again, these are subscriptions for anybody that are categorized, right, as a client, right? You're not going to be putting people that are, let's say, collaborator or personal on these particular subscriptions. Questions? We'll get to questions in a second. We're going to just finish off the last part of the slides. And I'm going to go back to my slides real quick. Okay, so here I just went over, right, listing announcements, and just a couple of notes there. While moving your people and their transactions through the sales flow, you may wish to send out announcements, right? Again, just listed, just sold properties. Subscribing people to listing announcements allows you to send notifications to your marketing sphere quickly and easily. I think everybody likes those words, quickly and easily. Again, as long as they're subscribing to these Neighborhood News listing announcements, really, you set it and forget it type of thing on your end, which is huge. And just one quick note, my emails, when you send out emails, you have emails from your brand. So you're going to have brand provided campaigns, or your brokerage, or your office. And of course, you can create your own email in terms of content. Okay, so be on the lookout for that. I know the brands are feverishly working and building up the libraries worth of emails. Okay, so if there's something's not there quite yet, You know, you may want to reach out to your brand ambassador or growth consultant, say, hey, what about this type thing? The chances are they're probably working on it and it's going to be there shortly. Okay, so last and fifth and final thing of our 5 steps or 5 ways to maximize MoxiEngage, right? Move people through the sales flow. Here's the flow, right? Marketing to prospects, to actives, to pending. That's the flow. And then keep in mind that each sales flow zone, right? Here's the zones, is a milestone for individual clients' progress towards a successful transaction. Milestones each have tasks for you to customize and complete to help you stay on top of the transaction. And as you continue to complete these tasks, move your client's transaction through the zones of the sales process or the sales flow until you're ready to close. Does that make sense? So basically, once you get this person's name up, you can go to move to different zones, right? So here I'm in prospect zone. And the next step, I'm going to move them to the active zone. Make sense? Or delete the transaction. Questions? I know we have a ton of questions. It seems like the chat is kind of maxed out at 99 plus chat messages. We'll take time to, if anybody would like to unmute themselves, or Angie, if you feel that there's something in chat that we need to address so a lot of people can have their questions answered maybe all at once, that'd be great too. So feel free to unmute yourself at this time. No questions? Let me look at chat. Are we still working out the kinks to get rid of scribbles in our personal info page username? Yeah. Let me see who has that question. Jennifer, do you have a ticket on that? A ticket number in terms of what you're mentioning in chat? Regarding that, if I can kind of quickly go over this, because this is huge, right? Because I want to help out our support staff, because the more we, I guess, address things proactively, right, the less on the back end of the support, our support staff has to hopefully deal with, right, on an ongoing basis. So number one, support.moxieworks.com, right? That's where you submit a ticket. But here's the key, right? Oh. Is everybody seeing my slides right now? Yeah, okay. So let me go back here. Angie, if you can confirm that you can see my slides.
Yes.
Yes, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, very good. All right, so when you are submitting a ticket, and this is a success portal, right? It's gonna ask you, is it a support request, a product issue report, or feature request? So there are 3 different flavors. So support request is basically, how do I do something? Product issue is that something's not working quite right. And then feature request, it would be nice to have this, right? The more information you give to our, when you're submitting a ticket, the better off you are. In some cases, we've had where a number of people say Moxie Present's not working, and leave it at that. As you can imagine, right, that is not enough information for support staff to kind of like, oh, we know exactly what that is. Not enough, right? So the more screenshots you give it, and some people are able to video record of, you know, kind of like the step-by-step of what they're going through to get that error message, that is what we're looking for in terms of detail, right? So any attachments that you have, screenshots of that, like, you want to add to that ticket so that the more information you give us, our support staff, they'll be able to address it probably faster and more efficiently than if you don't. Questions? I just want to make sure that everybody's clear on that. Where will those newsletters live? Waterfront. Very good. So Jen, at any point, yeah, you want to add that into the ticket, right? Because there are other people who are asking for lakefront, golf, ocean, all that kind of things. And I think that answer, it really depends, right? Because a lot of MLSs are different when it comes to, I guess, different features and things that you can click as to filtering a specific property, right? So you want to add and submit a ticket under that is going to be under feature request, yes? So great question. Where will those newsletters live? We love the ones in Imprev, which is now Impress, right? So yeah, your brand is still working on, I'm sure a lot of you who have a previous product or platform that have a lot of cool campaigns, content, newsletters, things like that. The brands are feverishly working on providing the same and more on the MoxiWorks platform. Okay, so you will keep on checking for those hours of more features that Moxie doesn't allow. We have a ticket. Okay, so Jen, very good.
And I'll just chime in the fix to Alex's point, every MLS is different and there are a zillion different fields. And so they have, a lot of the most used ones. What a lot of agents will do is they'll start their CMA, voyage using their MLS because it just has far more different support types or different property types and things that are super specific to your area. But then when you have those 8 MLSs, you can actually in Moxie Present, when you go into search, just take those 8 MLS numbers with commas between them, copy and paste it in there, and then that will pull up those subject properties. So that's one extra step, but that's pretty much what people do, especially if you're in one of those markets that has super local data within the MLS. So that's kind of the workaround for that. So
Very good. Other questions? I'm gonna try to get back to where
I had a
Alex,
question. Oh,
yes, go ahead.
on when you're putting in the people and you have the prospects and you have the activities and they basically have like the campaigns as far as the tasks, is there a way that we can put a template instead of having to go and change and edit every single person to as far as the timelines?
Absolutely. Brett, do you want to touch on that?
actually, there's not at this time. You can go in and basically create your own task or update it on an account by account basis, but there's not currently functionality where you can go in as a broker and say, this is the template we want for these and for all of my agents. So whether that's something that will be added in the future, I'm not sure. I know it was done manually for a long time for our classic MoxiWorks clients who are coming on, but in terms of the RealG deal and the RealG functionality, I don't believe that's. I know it's not active now, and I'm not sure exactly when that might be coming in the future if it's on the roadmap.
hi, Alex. I have a question on the timeline for the neighborhood news to go out. I signed up quite a while ago, and I haven't received any of the neighborhood news to my email. So I'm wondering if there's a specific date to expect those to go out.
And then Brett, correct me if I'm wrong, you could set it different times when it's launched, right? Not necessarily like the first of the month. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm just pulling up my account right now just because I know when I take a look at mine, here, just one second. Trying to use your screen instead of mine. No wonder it wasn't working. All right. Too many screens. But yeah, so if I look at like my activity feed, I can see where I have different neighborhood news sent out every day. So I believe what it is, it's based on a person by person basis. It's not like everybody gets the same email on the same day of the month.
Okay, so there's no default setting for that?
I think it's probably, my guess would be it's probably 30 days after you sign up for that person.
Okay.
I'm just taking a peek to see here. Yeah, because when you go to add a subscription, it doesn't actually have any information that you put in to say when you want it goes out.
Okay,
So yeah.
all right.
It goes out every 30 day, on the same date that you send it. So if I send it out today, it goes out May 14th, June 14th.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's a
it would
monthly
go out
cadence.
Based on when someone signs up. And it would
Correct.
be
Or
30
when you
days
sign
from
them
that.
up. Yep.
All right. So if we're not getting one within 30 days, then I guess that's a tech issue.
Well,
Yeah,
it could
you
be,
wanna-
or check your spam folder, obviously, because sometimes they'll go into spam.
Yeah. Okay. No, that
Other
makes sense.
questions? Yeah, other questions. Yeah. I think when you think about all the features of just this one part, a subset of the entire MoxiWorks platform, it is powerful. I mean, like I said, each one of the 5 things that I talked about, we could have a separate MoxiWorks hours by itself to go even deeper,
Yeah.
right? But I just wanted to kind of give everybody a lot to put on the table, and you guys got to pick and choose what is going to apply to you and what you can kind of put your arms around with now, right? So, and then Angie, would you be able to put the survey link into the chat window? That'd be great. What we'd like for you to do is take a quick minute to fill out our survey link. This way we're able to provide you what you want, what you're looking for, what you are expecting from these MoxiWorks hours. Good, bad, and different. We want to hear your feedback, right? What was good, what was maybe could use improvement, things like that. And as we're doing that, if you don't have any other questions, right, I'm just going to keep on talking. Here are campaigns. Before you, I guess, have somebody subscribe to a campaign, you have to add them from the library. Does that make sense? So
Well, and you can't create a campaign until you have emails. So if you're creating a new campaign, you're going to want to create the emails first and then create a
Right.
campaign, and then you'll pick which emails you use for the campaign.
Very good. So yes. So when you go, let me see. Oh yeah, here's the campaigns, right? Neighborhood news, listing announcements, my emails. Okay, so here's what Brett was talking about. So must create these emails first before you create that campaign. And we're going to get into these a lot more in greater depth in future MoxiWorks hours. But hopefully today's session provided a lot of information in terms of kind of getting up to speed quickly, right? And the neighborhood news is huge, right? You can see what information you get, right? How many people are subscribed to it, open rate, click rate, right? Unsubscribe rate, we want this to be 0, right? We want everybody to keep subscribing. And here's a one way, right? Unsubscribes. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, you know, I met you at that open house, right? Maybe a way to talk to that person, right? Or to kind of re-engage with that person who says, oh, I don't want this neighborhood news thing. Questions? We have a couple minutes. I'll look at chat. Brett, anything you think that we can elaborate on that I may have missed?
I mean, this was a fast and furious session, right? And so I think my hands are getting carpal tunnel from answering a lot of the questions.
Yeah.
But the answer to how do you get help with X is almost always by, now, Jolynn, your question sounds a little bit different. So you'd want to probably put in a ticket for that as far as why those stats are incorrect or what's not showing. And if you're part of multiple MLS, that could be part of it. But in general, because MoxiWorks has been around for so long, you can literally go to Google and say, you know, create campaign MoxiEngage, and it will bring up the help section campaign or the help section article about that specific property. So there are that specific task. So a lot of that is support.moxieworks.com. There's also some self-guided LMS training that's available, as well as, of course, everything that is in your brand educational portal. So there's a lot of other education that's being sent out and training that's being done, et cetera. So that would be probably my best advice there. And the other part of it is just continue, this is the first of many sessions on Engage. We kind of gave a 10,000 foot overview on a lot of different things, but we'll go a bit deeper in future webinars into certain functions and features and functionality.
Very good. Thank you, Brett. I think one of the topics, maybe our next session, or maybe next month, we're going to talk about how to edit, create emails, things like that. It seems like there's some questions on that. Sorry about running out of time, but thank you all for attending. Hopefully you're all able to submit your survey that was in the chat window. All of you will be receiving a copy of the recording link as well as any documentation that we talked about today. Thank you all. Thank you, Brett, for chiming in. Thank you, Angie, for fielding questions in the chat window. Until next time, feel free to send us any of your feedback, and please leverage the heck out of our success portal, support.moxieworks.com. That is your resource as well as your brand portals, which is another valuable resource for all of you. Thank you all, and we'll see you all.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Thank you very much.